She thought she'd met the love of her life, a man with a charming accent, a kind heart, and dreams of coming home to her. But instead of a wedding ring, what she got was a bank account drained of $26,000 and a heart full of betrayal. This is the story of how one Michigan woman fell in love with a man who never even existed. A story that will make you question everything you know about online romance. Because sometimes love isn't just blind, it's calculated. Before we dive in, comment below where you're watching from and hit that subscribe button. Your support helps us keep bringing you chilling, true stories like this. Stories that teach, warn, and uncover the hidden crimes of the digital world. Now, sit back, relax, and let's begin. Our story begins in Portage, Michigan, a quiet suburban city known for its lakes, bike trails, and close-knit neighborhoods. It's February 2025, the kind of winter that paints everything white and keeps people indoors, scrolling through their phones looking for connection. That's where Beth Hyland, a warm-hearted woman in her 40s, found herself one lonely evening. She had spent years focusing on her career and family. Love, for her, had taken a back seat until one swipe on a dating app changed everything. The app was Tinder, and the man who appeared on her screen seemed perfect. His name was Richard. His profile said he was a construction project manager from Fort Wayne, Indiana, currently overseas for work. He was handsome, mature, and, most importantly, he seemed genuine. Beth would later say, "He made me feel seen." Every morning there was a good morning text. Every night a good night message. For Beth, those little things meant the world. From the first day they matched, Richard and Beth texted nonstop. Messages turned into calls, and calls turned into video chats. His accent, faintly French, added an air of sophistication and mystery. Richard told her he was managing a massive construction project in Qatar. He shared photos of himself in hard hats, at job sites, and with heavy machinery in the background. Everything looked real. Everything sounded believable. Weeks passed. Their bond deepened. Beth described it as a whirlwind. "I felt like I'd finally found my person," she said later. And that's exactly how scammers work. They mirror your energy, they study your tone, they build emotional intimacy until your guard is gone. Soon, Richard was calling her my love and my future wife. He said he couldn't wait to come home to build a life with her. He even talked about introducing her to his family once he returned. Beth, feeling like she'd finally been chosen, began to dream again of love, of companionship, of a future. Before we go deeper, pause for a second. What would you do if someone made you feel that loved, that quickly? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I really want to know, because as you'll see, even the most cautious person can be pulled into something like this. One evening, Richard called Beth with a tremble in his voice. He said he was having trouble accessing his business funds overseas, that his company was withholding payment for his completed project until he paid for a lawyer and translator to release the final documents. He told her he'd tried everything, but the bureaucracy was unbearable. He said he felt helpless. Beth, empathetic and loyal, didn't hesitate. She wanted to help the man she loved. He told her he needed $26,000 to cover the legal fees. It was a huge amount, money Beth had been saving for a future home renovation. But she thought, if I help him now, we'll be together sooner. He instructed her to send the money through a Bitcoin ATM, something she'd never used before. But Richard guided her step by step, convincing her it was faster and safer since he was overseas. Within hours, Beth had transferred the entire amount, and just like that, the trap was set. Days passed. Richard promised he'd reimburse her soon, but then a new problem appeared. He claimed the payout was delayed. This time, he needed an additional $50,000 to activate the funds. That's when Beth's heart started racing. Something didn't feel right. She called her financial advisor for advice. The advisor listened carefully and then said the words that shattered her world. "Beth, This sounds like a scam. Her chest tightened. Her mind went blank. For the first time, she looked back at everything, the photos, the video calls, the sweet messages, and realized none of it could be verified. When she confronted Richard, he grew defensive. Then, suddenly, he disappeared. His number stopped working. His profiles vanished. Beth sat there staring at her phone, realizing that the man she thought she loved had never existed at all. Determined to uncover the truth, Beth began digging. She reverse-searched the photos Richard had sent her. That's when the final blow came. Every picture belonged to a real man, a German engineer with thousands of followers on Facebook. The man had no idea his identity was being used to scam women across the world. Beth reported the scam to local police in Portage, Michigan, and to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, but she quickly learned that justice isn't always swift. Because the scammer operated overseas, and because she'd willingly sent the money, local police said there wasn't much they could do. The FBI took her report, but didn't contact her again. Beth felt completely abandoned, emotionally, financially, and by the system. Investigators explained to her that these scammers work in organized groups. They operate from internet cafes, using fake passports, stolen photos, and even AI-generated video calls to appear real on camera. It's part of a growing trend called deep-fake romance scams. With new technology, scammers can now sync another person's face in real time, creating the illusion of video chatting with the person in the stolen photos. In Beth's case, investigators believe that may have been what happened. They also traced the Bitcoin wallet she sent money to. It led to an overseas exchange with no identifiable owner. The funds had been transferred, laundered through multiple wallets, and were long gone. No names, no arrests, just digital dust. So how does this happen? How can intelligent, caring people like Beth fall for something like this? Psychologists say romance scammers use three powerful tools: affection, attention, and urgency. They overwhelm victims with love and affirmation, called love bombing. They create dependency by always being available. Then they introduce a crisis, forcing the victim to make a fast decision, usually involving money. And when love and fear collide, logic often loses. Beth said it best in one interview. It's like being drugged. You know something's off, but you don't want to wake up because the dream feels so good. Beth's story spread quickly through Michigan. News outlets covered her case, and people were shocked by how realistic the scam had been. Many in her community reached out, some with sympathy, others with stories of their own. One woman said she'd almost fallen for a similar scam from someone claiming to be a U.S. soldier stationed overseas. Another admitted she'd lost over $10,000 to a widowed oil engineer she met online. Romance scams had quietly become one of the most devastating crimes in America. According to the Federal Trade Commission, U.S. victims reported over $1.3 billion lost to romance scams in recent years. And experts believe the real number is much higher. Behind every dollar lost is a person like Beth, hopeful, trusting, and ultimately heartbroken. But Beth refused to stay silent. Instead of hiding in shame, she began speaking out, warning others not to ignore red flags. She joined a nonprofit called Fight Cybercrime, which connects scam survivors to emotional and financial support. Through that group, she found healing and purpose. In 2025, Beth even shared her story with lawmakers backing the Romance Scam Prevention Act, a bill designed to hold dating platforms accountable. The proposed law would require apps like Tinder to notify users if they've interacted with a profile later confirmed as fraudulent. Beth's courage turned her pain into advocacy, transforming her from victim to voice. As of today, no one has been arrested for the scam that cost Beth Hyland $26,000. The man who called himself Richard vanished into the vast web of international cybercrime, faceless, nameless, untraceable. But his disappearance didn't erase the damage. Beth still struggles with trust, admitting she's hesitant to date again, and yet she continues to speak publicly, determined that no one else falls for the same trap. Her message is simple but powerful. If someone you meet online asks for money, even if it feels like love, stop. Don't send a dime until you've met them in person and verified who they are. Beth's story isn't just about money or heartbreak. It's about the power of technology to create illusions and the power of human emotion to believe in them. In an age of digital intimacy where love can begin with a swipe, we have to remember, not everyone behind a profile picture is real. Scammers are patient. They study your habits, your hopes, your fears. They use AI, deepfakes, and fake accents, anything to make you trust them. And once they have your trust, they have everything. But Beth's story also reminds us of something else: resilience. Even after losing her savings, her faith, and her dream, she found strength in helping others. She's proof that even when deception wins a battle, truth can still win the war. If you've made it this far, thank you for staying till the end of this story. Beth Hyland's experience is a reminder that love can heal, but it can also harm when it's weaponized by those who prey on trust. If you ever suspect someone you know is being targeted, share this video with them. And remember, real love never demands payment. Please like this video, subscribe to BYTE Crimes, and leave a comment below telling us what you think about Beth's story and how we can all stay safer online. Your engagement helps us keep exposing digital deceit, one story at a time. Until next time, stay alert, stay kind, and don't let anyone scam your heart.